This Squirtle card costs $1,000. Not a Charizard, not a rare misprint. A Squirtle from McDonald's, and it's not even close to being the most expensive starter card on today's list. In fact, there's a Venusaur that costs double that, and a Charmeleon, not even the final evolution, that'll set you back $250. If you grew up with these Pokemon, you need to know what they're worth. Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious, these prices are going to blow your mind. I spent 15 hours researching every single Kanto starter's most expensive card. Buckle up, because some of these are absolutely insane. Alright, let's talk about the Kanto starters. Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle. For most of us, these were our first Pokemon, our first choice, our first partner in the Pokemon world. And here's what nobody tells you, that choice you made as a kid, it's worth actual money now, like real money, rent money, car payment money. But here's the problem, most people have no idea what these cards are actually worth. I've seen people sell a $400 card for $50. I've seen people pay $500 for a card that should cost $200. It happens every single day, and the reason it happens is simple. There's so much bad information out there. People guess. They make up prices. They look at one eBay listing and think that's the real value. So here's what I did. I spent over 15 hours cross-referencing prices, TCG Player, eBay sold listings, price charting. I wanted real numbers, not guesses. I'm also focusing on ungraded cards, raw cards, the cards you actually buy and hold in your hand, because that's what most of us are dealing with. Today, we're going through all 9 evolution stages, from Bulbasaur to Blastoise. I'll tell you the exact card that's most expensive, the current market price, and why it costs what it costs. By the end of this video, you'll know more about Kanto starter card values than 99% of collectors. Let's start with the grass types. So, Bulbasaur, the forgotten starter. Everyone talks about Charizard. Some people talk about Blastoise. But Bulbasaur, nobody's making videos about Bulbasaur. And that's a mistake, because Bulbasaur has some seriously expensive cards. Here's why you need to know this. If you have old Pokemon cards sitting in your closet, there's a decent chance you have a Bulbasaur. It was in base set. It was in legendary collection. It was everywhere. But which version is valuable? Which one is worth pulling out and protecting? Get this wrong, and you might protect the $5 card while the $200 card sits in a box getting damaged. Okay, so technically, Bulbasaur's most expensive card is the Pokemon Snap Contest card. But here's the thing, there hasn't been a single ungraded sale of that card that I could find. It's basically a ghost card. So the real answer, Legendary Collection Reverse Holo, $150 to $200. Why is this card expensive? 3 reasons. First, Legendary Collection had the best holo pattern ever made. Seriously, look at that sparkle. It's beautiful. Second, reverse holos from Legendary Collection were way harder to pull than regular holos. The pull rates were brutal. Third, nostalgia. This set came out in 2002. It was meant to celebrate the original 150 Pokemon. And collectors love celebration sets. Right now, on TCG Player, a near mint copy is listed at $180. On eBay, recent sold listings show $150 to $210 depending on condition. Think of Legendary Collection like the anniversary edition of your favorite video game. It's the same game, but the packaging is special. That special packaging, that's what drives the price up. Now, here's where things get interesting, or actually, kind of boring. Ivysaur's most expensive card is the Legendary Collection Reverse Holo at $150 to $200. It's the same card, same set, same price. And this is the first pattern you need to understand. Middle evolutions are cursed in the Pokemon TCG. Nobody cares about Ivysaur. Nobody cares about Charmeleon or Wartortle. Everyone wants the cute first stage or the powerful final stage. Middle evolutions. They're the middle child of Pokemon cards. So even though Ivysaur is from the same expensive set, it doesn't cost more than Bulbasaur. It costs the same, because nobody's fighting over Ivysaur cards. I learned this the hard way. I once bought a complete Legendary Collection Reverse Holo set. I was so excited about the Charizard and the starter cards, but when I tried to sell the middle evolutions, crickets. Nobody wanted them. It took me 3 months to sell that Ivysaur. 3 months. Okay, so Bulbasaur and Ivysaur are both around $150 to $200. Not cheap, but not crazy either. But Venusaur plays a different game entirely. The base, set, Shadowless Holo costs $2,000. Now, before you go digging through your old cards, you need to understand something. Not every base set Venusaur is worth $2,000. There are 3 versions of base set cards. First edition Shadowless, which is most expensive. Unlimited Shadowless, which is expensive. And Unlimited with Shadow, which is common. Get this wrong and you'll think your $50 card is worth $2,000. That's a heartbreaking mistake. Here's how you check. Look at the right side of the card. See that shadow behind the artwork box? If there's no shadow and no first edition stamp, you've got an unlimited shadowless. That's around $400 to $600. If there's a shadow, that's just a regular base set unlimited, about $50 to $80. But if there's no shadow and there's a first edition stamp, that's a 2,000 plus card. That's the holy grail. Why is shadowless so expensive? Because it was the very first printing run. Before Pokemon knew how massive the TCG would become, they printed a small batch. Then they realized they needed to print way more, so they added a shadow to the border to make the cards pop more. The shadowless versions, those are the originals. It's like owning a first edition book. Sure, the story is the same in every edition, but that first print run, that's history. Alright, so the grass starters topped out at $2,000 with Venusaur. That's a lot of money. But if you think that's expensive, oh man. The fire starters are about to make $2,000 look like pocket change, because we're about to talk about Charizard, and Charizard doesn't play by normal rules. So, Charizard. I thought about putting Charizard at the end of this video, for retention, keep you watching. But after finishing my research, I realized something. Some of the cards coming up later are even more insane than Charizard. So let's just rip the band-aid off. Let's talk about the fire starters. Here's the thing about Charizard, it warps the entire market. People see Charizard prices and they think, oh, so all Gen 1 starter cards must be super expensive. Wrong. Charizard inflates prices for the entire Charmander line. Even Charmander and Charmeleon cost more than they should, just because they evolve into Charizard. Understanding this saves you money, because you won't overpay for a Charmander thinking it's rare. Okay, so the most expensive Charmander is the McDonald's 2002 Japanese promo at $400. This card is absolutely adorable. Look at that little face. This Charmander was only available in Japan in 2002 at McDonald's. Why is this expensive? 3 factors. 1, it's Japan exclusive. Anything that was never released in English automatically costs more. Collectors in the West have to import it. 2, it's a McDonald's promo. McDonald's promos are notoriously hard to keep in good condition. Kids got them with Happy Meals. They played with them, they got ketchup on them. Finding a clean copy? That's tough. 3, it's cute. I know that sounds silly, but in the Pokemon TCG, cuteness sells. Collectors love adorable cards. On eBay, recent Japanese sales show $350 to $450. The price varies based on condition. Now, you might be thinking, wait, $400 for a Charmander? But it's not even a holo. Exactly. That's the Japanese exclusive tax. Rarity beats flashiness. Alright, Charmeleon is where things get really interesting, because this card has a backstory. The most expensive Charmeleon is the Team Rocket stamped card at $250. See that little stamp in the corner? That changed everything. Let me tell you what happened. When Team Rocket released in 2000, Wizards of the Coast was frustrated. They had worked so hard on the Pokemon TCG, they translated cards, they organized tournaments, they built the entire Western TCG scene, but everyone thought Pokemon Company did everything. Wizards got zero credit, so they did something bold. They stamped their logo on Dark Charmeleon, right there on the card, a permanent signature. It was their way of saying, hey, we exist, we matter. Why is this card expensive? Because it tells a story. It's not just a card, it's a piece of TCG history. It's proof that Wizards of the Coast built something special, and collectors love cards with stories. Regular Team Rocket Dark Charmeleon, about $5 to $10. The stamped version, $250. That stamp multiplies the value by 25 times. Here's the revelation, a card story matters more than its stats. Charmeleon isn't powerful, it's not particularly rare in terms of print numbers. But that story, that Wizard's legacy, that's what makes it valuable. Okay, deep breath. Let's talk about Charizard. The base set Shadowless Charizard costs $15,000. Now, I need to be honest with you, and this might be controversial. Charizard's price is partially artificial. Yes, it's iconic. Yes, it's rare. Yes, it's beautiful. But some of the cards coming up later in this video are actually rarer. They're actually harder to find. They just don't have the Charizard name. Why is Charizard $15,000? 3 reasons. 1, nostalgia. Charizard was everyone's favorite. The dragon that's not actually a dragon. The fire-breathing beast. 2, it's actually hard to find in good condition. The holo scratches so easily. And because everyone loved Charizard, everyone played with their Charizard. Finding a clean one? Brutal. 3, and this is the big one, cultural momentum. Logan Paul bought a $150,000 Charizard. Celebrities collect Charizard. The hype feeds itself. Think of Charizard like a Supreme hoodie. Is the hoodie actually worth $800? Probably not, but people want it because other people want it. The demand creates more demand. Right now, a near mint shadowless Charizard sells for $12,000 to $18,000. First edition, that's $300,000 plus. But here's the thing, the unlimited with shadow version, that's only $300 to $500. Same Pokemon, different print run, 30 times difference in price. Look, I'm not saying don't buy Charizard. If you love Charizard, buy Charizard. But if you're investing, if you're trying to build wealth through Pokemon cards, there are smarter choices coming up. Choices that aren't already at maximum hype. So the fire starters are done. And yeah, Charizard dominated with $15,000. But here's what's wild. The next evolution line, they're way more affordable, way more accessible. And honestly, some of these cards are cooler than Charizard. I said what I said. Let's talk about the water starters. Squirtle, the fan favorite, the meme Pokemon, the Turtle Squad leader, the Water Gun Master. And here's the thing, Squirtle cards are expensive, but not Charizard expensive. They're in this sweet spot. Expensive enough to be valuable, affordable enough to actually collect. If you're trying to collect Kanto starters without going broke, the water line is your best bet. You can get all 3 evolutions for less than the price of one Charizard, but you still need to know which cards to look for, because there are expensive Squirtles and there are really expensive Squirtles. Remember this little guy from the beginning? The McDonald's 2002 Japanese promo Squirtle that cost $1,000. Same reasons as Charmander, Japan exclusive, McDonald's promo. Hard to find in good condition, but there's one more factor. This might be the cutest Squirtle card ever made. Look at that face, look at it. If Charizard is the Supreme hoodie, Squirtle is the limited edition teddy bear. It's valuable because it's precious. Recent Japanese sales on eBay show $950 to $1,100. The price has been climbing. This is one of my favorite Japanese exclusive cards. I don't own it. I can't justify $1,000 for a Squirtle, but man, it's tempting. Every time I see it, I think, maybe today's the day. It hasn't been the day yet, but someday. Alright, you already know what's coming, don't you? Wartortle's most expensive card is the Legendary Collection Dark Wartortle Reverse Holo at $240. Yup, we're back to Legendary Collection, and we're back to Middle Evolution Syndrome. Here's the pattern you need to remember. If a Middle Evolution's most expensive card costs more than the first stage, something weird is going on. Wartortle costs $240. Squirtle costs $1,000. That's normal. Squirtle is cuter and more iconic. But if Wartortle costs more than Squirtle, that would mean there's something special about that specific card. Maybe it's an error. Maybe it's a tournament prize. This Dark Wartortle consistently sells for $220 to $260. It's steady, not exciting, just steady. Okay, here's where I'm going to say something controversial again. Blastoise is a better investment than Charizard. The first edition, Shadowless Holo, Blastoise cost $1,500. Let me explain. Why is Blastoise smarter money? 1, it's still expensive. $1,500 is real money, but it's not $15,000. 2, it has room to grow. Charizard is already at peak hype. Everyone knows Charizard is expensive, but Blastoise, it's still flying under the radar. 3, Blastoise was actually more playable than Charizard. In the original TCG meta, Rain Dance Blastoise, decks dominated tournaments. Charizard was cool, Blastoise won games, Charizard is Bitcoin in 2021. Everyone's talking about it. The price is maxed out. Blastoise is Ethereum in 2016. Solid, valuable, but still has room to run. First edition, Shadowless. Blastoise costs $1,500 to $2,000. Unlimited Shadowless is $300 to $500. Regular Unlimited is $50 to $80. The price tiers are clear. Look, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take investment advice from a Pokemon YouTuber. But if you ask me, should I buy a $15,000 Charizard or 10 $1,500 Blastoises? I'm buying the Blastoises every time. So that's all 9 Kanto starters. From Bulbasaur at $150 to Charizard at $15,000. But here's the thing, knowing the prices isn't enough. You need to know how to buy these cards without getting scammed. You need to know what to look for, what to avoid, because I've seen people lose thousands of dollars on fake cards, on damaged cards sold as mint, on overpriced deals. So let's talk about how to actually use this information. Alright, real talk time. Everything I've told you so far, it's useless if you can't spot a good deal from a scam. And the Pokemon card market, it's full of scams. Here's what happens. Someone watches a video like this. They get excited. They go on eBay, They see a shadowless Charizard for $5,000. That's $10,000 cheaper than market price. What a steal. They buy it, it arrives. And it's not shadowless, or it's damaged, or it's fake. They just lost $5,000. I watched this happen to someone in a Discord I'm in. He bought a near mint shadowless Charizard for $12,000. When it arrived, there was whitening on every corner, a small crease down the middle. That wasn't near mint, that was heavily played. The card was worth maybe $5,000. He overpaid by $7,000. He tried to return it. Seller ghosted him. He was stuck. Here are the 3 rules that will save you thousands of dollars. Rule 1 is condition is everything. The difference between near mint and heavily played, it can be 50% to 70% of the card's value. A near mint shadowless Charizard costs $15,000. The same card in heavily played costs $5,000. Same card, different condition, $10,000 difference. Always ask for close-up photos. Front and back, all 4 corners, the edges, the surface. If the seller won't provide photos, don't buy. It's that simple. Common damage to look for includes whitening on corners, which looks like white spots, creases, which are lines across the card, scratches on the hollow, especially on older cards, and edge wear, which is fraying on the sides. Rule 2 is understand the 3 value pillars. Not all expensive cards are expensive for the same reason. Some are expensive because they're rare, some because they're playable, some because they're nostalgic. The best cards have all 3. Let's use Charizard as an example. Rarity? Check. Shadowless print runs were tiny. Playability? A. It was okay, but not meta-defining. Nostalgia? Check. It's the ultimate childhood Pokemon. Charizard has 2 out of 3 pillars. That's why it's $15,000. Now, look at a card like base set Chansey. Rarity? Same as Charizard. Same set, same rarity. Playability? Actually better than Charizard. Chansey was used in top decks. Nostalgia? Low. Nobody's childhood favorite is Chansey. Chansey has 2 out of 3 pillars, but it costs $350, not $15,000. The revelation? Nostalgia is worth more than playability in the long run. Tournament players move on to new cards, but nostalgia? That lasts forever. Rule 3 is market timing matters. Pokemon card prices aren't stable. They spike and crash based on new game releases, which makes prices go up. YouTubers buying cards, which makes prices spike temporarily, reprints, which make prices crash, and general economic conditions, because recession means lower prices. Don't buy when hype is high. Don't buy when a YouTuber just made a video about a card. Wait, be patient. Prices always come back down. When Pokemon Scarlet and Violet released, Gen 1 card, prices jumped 20% to 30%. Everyone was nostalgic. 6 months later, prices came back down. The people who waited saved thousands. Okay, that's it. That's everything you need to know about Kanto starter card values. You know the prices, you know the patterns, you know how to avoid getting scammed. Now it's time to use this information. We started with a simple question: which Kanto starter card costs the most? Now you know all 9 answers. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your money. Here's what you need to do right now. First, check your old cards. Look for shadowless stamps. Look for legendary collection reverse holos. Look for Japanese exclusives. Second, use the prices I gave you today. Don't overpay, don't undersell, you now have real data. Third, subscribe to this channel because I'm breaking down every generation's most expensive cards. Every single one. You don't want to miss what's coming, you've got the knowledge. Now go use it.